Welcome back to Shah Travels. In this one, I'm going to be taking you through every modification we've done to the van inside and out. We've had this van for just over a year and have made a few different tweaks to it in order to make it a bit more comfortable, utilize the storage space, and upgrade things like solar. One modification we did to the van pretty early on was to increase the solar capacity. Now we have 600 watts on the roof, but we wanted to be able to plug in a portable solar blanket and maximize those rays. Now we did speak to Mars and they said that they didn't offer this as an option, so it was something that we'd do ourselves. I say we, Tom is a qualified electrician, so it's all down to him. Now the regulator that we have in the van could have taken another solar panel on the roof and had another couple hundred watts coming in there. However, we thought it would just be a bit easier to have a separate regulator, and that way we can use a larger blanket, we can plug more solar into that if needed. Now the input for the solar did mean that Tom had to cut a hole in the side of the van, which is always a little bit nerve-wracking. However, he did it very neatly. The new solar regulator is located in the storage area near the batteries. The next modification, this is a prototype, so it does look a little bit dodgy. I found this over-the-door error from Kmart. It was about $15 and I thought that would fit perfectly over the rear wheel. Now, as I said, we haven't properly set this up, but I think it could be a good spot to hang the washing. It doesn't matter if you're parked really close to the person who's next to you. Just needs a little bit of tweaking. If we do have a nice final product, I will share that. The next modification that we did was to add some shade sail track onto the offside of our van. This was really easy to do. We just got the sail track from Bunnings, cut it to length, and then we bought some of the shade cloth that you can get there as well. Quick and easy, and provides a great bit of shade on the other side of the van. The next one is one we've got really recently, and so we haven't really tested it out. And that is the tire pressure monitoring kit. So we got it for the car and the Caravan. In addition to that, we also got the wheel bearing monitor for the Caravan too. Now we have actually had issues with the wheel bearings on this van. And so we thought if we're going to get the tire pressure monitoring kit, we'll get the add-on as well so we can monitor the wheel bearing temperature. And it all feeds through into the one unit. We're about to go on a big trip, and so we'll be able to see if it works, if it is showing high temperatures, and hopefully it will help any wheel bearing problems that we might have. The next one is our chopping board that fits over the sink. So Tom got the router and cut it out so it slots down into the sink. There's room at the back behind it to be able to put dirty dishes down, and it fits in there really nicely. The next thing that we did was have a gas output put at the back of the van. We did consider having it at the front, but we figured we do most of the cooking at the back, so we might as well just have it there. This is something that we got done through Mars. We had to take the van back for a warranty issue and just asked if they'd be able to do it for us. And I think it cost around $300 and they did it in a day. And we've only used it once, but it's been great. Next thing I'm going to do is show you a bit of the storage in the kitchen, so any changes that we've made there. So in this section, we've just added in a small collapsible shelf and a couple of tubs for storage. I've also got this kitchen roll towel holder here, which was absurdly expensive. I think it was about $35, but it's really good so far. It hasn't fallen off. I've also got these wine bottle holders here. They're really good. They haven't budged. I've put a little bit of non-slip fabric just in the bottom of them. And so far so good. The wine bottles do not move out of them and they keep them nice and protected. I'll just show you here a few changes that we made to our main food storage area. Previously, the tubs that we had in there were quite low. This meant that we were having to stack food up on top of each other. Things were falling out when we arrived, and it wasn't ideal. So I found a couple of different size shelves at Kmart, and then I also got two tall storage tubs to go to the right of them. And I'll just show you some footage now of what the old tubs look like. They all fit in there really well, and it just means that we can put different size food tubs in there. We can have bread in there, wraps, all those sorts of things, and stack them in really nicely. Nothing in there moves as much as it used to with the old tubs, and it just means that we can pile up food a bit better. Another modification that we did was take out the huge cutlery drawer that was in this area here, in this storage area. It was absolutely gigantic and took up the whole space. It was just far too much room for knives, forks and spoons. We took it out, and that way we can store all our pots and pans in there, our cutlery, and then also other utensils. The other thing we've done is just add this fridge storage organizer onto the front of the fridge. This is one I just jigged up myself from Kmart. It was like a travel thing that you're meant to be able to attach on the back of a plane seat. Just got double-sided Velcro on the back. Super handy for putting things like torches, different cables, keys, all those sorts of things. Now we're heading to the big storage area in the back where we've added a couple of shelves above where we store our barbecue. Now they're only held in by a few pieces of wood and screws, so we've mainly just got paperwork, cables, really nothing heavy in there at all, but it's an ideal spot to be able to have that extra bit of storage, and we wouldn't be wanting to put anything on top of the barbecue anyway, so it's just a handy spot to have an extra bit of space. Okay, let's head inside the van, and our first stop will be the bathroom. Now, the plastic white floors of ensuites in caravans can be notoriously hard to clean if they get covered in dirt, for example, or red dust. Because of that, I really wanted to have a wooden duckboard in there, so we found this one from Bunnings. Now, the original size is much bigger. We haven't quite finished it off yet. We have got an angled bit that will fit in the corner there. So it's a bit of a work in process, but so far so good. It's really nice, heavy, robust. Means you can get around in there without having to slip. It's also quite nice when you finished your shower. You can stand there, the water drains through, and you can dry yourself off and your feet pretty easily. Next, we've got our shower caddy, I guess you'd call it, body wash, conditioner, shampoo. This was again from Bunnings. It wasn't cheap. It was around about $120. It's siliconed onto the wall, so it can't come off, and it's been really good. It's nicely out the way there, and it makes it super convenient. It means you don't have to have bottles lying around. Haven't had any issues with the pumps or anything like that. There's also hooks on the end for shower buffs or razors. Then we've got these silicone storage caddies and toothbrush holders. The toothbrush ones are great. When we did our interior walkthrough, I absolutely blasted this silicone caddy and said it was absolute garbage. Since then, it has stayed on the wall and it has not budged. So it's obviously redeemed itself. And because it hasn't budged, I'd say it's actually worth getting. It fits there perfectly, holds a few packs of toothpaste. It's great. Another thing that I've put on recently is this little mirror from Kmart. We don't have a mirror anywhere else in the van. Now it's quite low down because obviously we have the pop-up top. Another little modification that we've done is just put hooks absolutely everywhere. So we can use them to hang up our towels, hang up your clothes, whatever it is you need to hook up. There's a hook for it. Another thing that I did was because I wanted to be able to have my clothes in the bathroom with me to get dry and keep my towel in there, was I made some shower curtains that go onto the hooks there. They cover the toilet, so keep that dry as well. And it just means that you can have a shower, then move the curtain across, get all your dry clothes and towels and get changed still in the bathroom. Keeps everything nice and dry. Now I have changed this to a slightly different fabric. It's more of a plasticky one. Dries a bit quicker, but so far so good. It works really well. If you have a combo shower toilet, something like this, which honestly took about 10-15 minutes just to whip up, it's really worth doing, and it folds up really small and fits in the cupboard there. We've added a couple of these little storage pockets inside here. To be honest, we don't really use them for much. They're a little bit useless. We don't have much shoe storage in the van, and so I have seen places like Drop Bear Storage. They have a wide shoe storage pouch that you can kind of stick onto the wall. And so I think that's something that we might look to invest in. It might stick out a little bit, but it's not going to be too much in the way. Outside of the bathroom, we've got hooks, and more hooks. Now, I specifically put this hook here with the laundry bag on it so that when you do get undressed in the bathroom ready to take a shower, you just stick your hand over the door and you can put your clothes straight into the laundry bag. Now moving on to the beds. Now originally on the bunks I had single bed fitted sheets which were too wide, but I just tucked them in. I didn't really feel like they worked well. It also meant that if we needed to move an area of the bedding for whatever reason, we had to unmake the whole bed. What I've done now is I've got 4 different sets of cot sheets. These fit in there absolutely perfectly. Now they're the right width, but they're a little bit too long. It doesn't matter though, we've got a really big thick strip of Velcro underneath, so it holds them both in place. Having this is so much easier. With our bunk beds, the top one can swing down into a seat, and so having it separated means that we don't have to unmake the bed. We can just tuck the doona, etc. to the back and then fold the bed down if we need to make it into a seat. Under the bottom bunk as well is also where the diesel heater and the water is, and so again, having it in 2 separate pieces means we can lift up the section that's got that underneath and we don't need to unmake the bed. With our oldest bed on top, we've just got the doona here, which I cut down to size to fit in the bed because it's not as wide as a normal single bed. And then what I've done is I've turned the end over on itself and sewn it up so that it kind of hooks over the top of the mattress. And I'll just show you what I mean here. That means it can't move upwards, it can't slide off the bed. So I don't have to worry about it moving around in the night or falling off and the little one getting cold. Heading over to the main bed now, one thing that we've added on is a mattress topper. This is again from Kmart. It was around $80. It helps with obviously a bit more comfort as it's quite soft, and also helps with the warmth as well. Another little mod that we've done is just to add a bed rail here at the top. Now we do have this one which is built into the van, but it leaves a gap up at the top of the bed near where the pillow is. Our eldest, who sleeps up there, unfortunately did fall off the top bunk straight onto the step. We were about 3.5 hours from the nearest hospital, but fortunately she was completely uninjured. Not quite sure how that happened, by some miracle. So we've just got this one that tucks into between the mattress and the fixed bed rail that's there, and it works really well so far. She hasn't managed to fall out. Also stops toys and blankets falling out of the bed as well. And then during the day it can fold down. It just sits on the bottom bunk for when we're traveling and things like that. Again, from Kmart, I think it was about $50. Now I'm going to show you the fans that we've got. So the two that are above the main bed were there in our van already. Our van was a display model, and so we got those included when we bought it. Now these ones are Ranger brand, and we wanted to put a couple in the bunk beds. I did look at buying the exact same ones. They were $200 each. I then looked on Kickass's website and they were $100 each, and as far as I could tell they were almost identical. I thought we might as well save ourselves a little bit of money, and so we ended up going with Kickass for the bunk bed fans. Compared to the Ranger fans, the Ranger ones have got like a physical button that you push and click to make the fans go different speeds or switch on and off, etc. The Kickass ones though, it's almost like their touch screen. There isn't really a physical button there. But so far they are working really well. They tuck out the way quite nicely. Now with the one on the top bunk, we do remove the section of mattress that's underneath it just for when the roof comes down. It will probably be okay, but we were told to make sure that there isn't really any pressure on the roof when it is shut. Simply pick up that section of mattress and just pop it on the bunk bed below for when we're traveling. Again, that's why it makes it really helpful having the cot mattress on there. Now these fans Tom installed himself. As I said, he is an electrician. This is always something that you could speak to your van manufacturer about. Having these added in, I imagine, is really quite simple to do. Here we've just got a little silicone pocket. So this was the one that came with the mirror that's in the bathroom. Just handy for chucking in sunglasses, phones, keys, that sort of thing. And the cupboard that it's stuck on is our main storage cupboard for the kids' clothes. Now I'll show you what it looked like originally when we bought the van. Just a large empty cupboard, and we knew we wanted to put some shelves in there. So we made these ourselves. They're just a thin bit of plyboard from Bunnings, which are resting on brackets which are screwed into the side of the wall there. Now I probably wouldn't be comfortable putting something really heavy on those just because you can see how thin the ply is. But for putting a couple of tubs of kids' clothes on there and nappies, it's been absolutely perfect. It's such a good space to have. You really could do anything with it, but we found it really useful as a spot for kids' clothes, and the storage tubs that we've got fit in there perfectly. Now this drawer here is for my clothes. Now this is what it looks like when it's empty. And I've just got a lot of the clothes organizers, which again, surprise, surprise, are from Kmart. Really simple for organizing clothes. It maximizes the space in there. I can fit way too much stuff in there, but it's been really good for organizing and making the most of that space. That's a wrap on our modifications that we've done so far. If you want any more information about anything you've seen in the video, just leave a comment. I'll be more than happy to help out. If you like this one, be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.